The salvage squad are working hard to restore a 50-year-old Centurion tank, and already they've hit a big problem. They can't get the engine to run. Jerry's plan to upgrade the engine's electrics hasn't worked. Nick, the tank's owner, is worried.
We're taking it to a show, it's got to be totally reliable. At this show you're going to have lots of people there with shiny vehicles and, it'd be embarrassing. It'd be worse than embarrassing.
I'm sure I can find a way of sorting it.
Yeah.
Luckily, Claire spots the problem.
Are you sure you've got all the bits, Jerry?
Put that in, have I? Silly beggar.
Jerry's been a bit too clever. Modern cars' electrics run on 12-volt batteries, but this 50-year-old monster runs on 24 volts.
So what did you forget, Jerry?
Oh, sorry, yeah, the voltage converter, because it's 24-volt
Right,
system.
okay.
Normal cars are 12.
Yes.
This is 24.
Right.
Jerry's forgotten to plug in the voltage converter.
Red.
So can Jerry's clever electrics coax this cantankerous old engine back to life?
Hello, baby! Keep it running! I want one in my car!
That's a sound I haven't heard for a little while.
Listen to that!
The mighty Meteor engine has roared and the tank is beginning to come alive.
Sounds very nice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Claire and Axel now start work on the innards of the beast.
Good God, look at this breach on that.
See if anything works, Claire. Hey, look. Yep.
The tank's turret still moves perfectly.
Yes, nice one, Claire.
Its gun was permanently deactivated when it left the army. And the sad thing is, we're not really allowed to get it going again.
It's a fantastic thing.
The turret is the nerve centre of the tank's operations. The Centurion would have gone into battle with 4 men crammed inside. The tank commander sits at the top of the turret. It's his job to navigate the tank and direct the firing of the gun.
Tank echoed 400 men.
The gun is operated by 2 men. The gunner who aims the weapon
400 sank.
and the loader. The driver sits in front of the turret. The tank also held ammunition, maps, navigational equipment, a 2-way radio, as well as food and clothing for all the crew. All this clobber was stored in metal bin boxes that cover the inside walls of the tank. The bin boxes are going to have to come out, so Axel takes a few snaps with his digital camera to make sure he remembers how it all fits back together.
Right, Claire, we better start dismantling the inside of this baby.
Well, we're going to give it a fresh lick of paint, yeah?
Yes, definitely.
So if we get rid of... That's coming
Yeah,
out.
definitely, that's coming out.
So anything we can't paint round or under...
We remove.
It's bad enough with just 2 of us in here trying to work. Can you imagine what it was like? With, you know, driver, commander, gunner, the loader,
Yeah.
everything.
I won't even think about it, mate. I make love, not war.
You'd have a job in here.
Claire and Axel start gutting the inside of the tank, but I'm more worried about what's going on outside. There's supposed to be a bulldozer blade going onto the front of the tank, and there's definitely something odd about that gun. I need some answers.
I've noticed it with the others as well, and from this, I know it's head-on, but this has got, you know, a very long barrel, like my little toy tanks I had when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And the one we have, Nick said it was an AVRE, A-V-R-E, but he didn't know what it meant.
Right, well, AVRE stands for Armoured Vehicle Royal Engineers. Now, I think I might have a handbook here on that very vehicle. We have Tank AVRE 165mm. Now, that was the demolition gun which was put on the front, so let's see if we can...
The short, stubby one.
Yeah, let's see if we can show you that. Now, is that more like it?
That is definitely more like it, yeah.
Now, these were actually used as assault vehicles. They have various tasks because they have this thing on the front, the short stubby gun you were saying, the 165mm demolition gun, which could be used for destroying pillboxes, for attacking bridges. It also has a dozer blade on the front.
At the side at the moment.
The other side.
Just lying there.
Right, right. So that's also used during these assault operations to fill in anti-tank ditches, to prepare crossing points across rivers.
After starting out its life as a main battle tank, our tank was one of 40 Centurions converted into a kind of armoured bulldozer, which the Royal Engineers used to breach enemy defences.
Now, they were being converted from standard gun tanks, I suggest, during the 1960s. And it carried on until it seems it's gone into the Gulf War. So there you have a tank, which was essentially built in 1950, which was still in 50 years later. And that is a remarkable testament to a superb tank.
It's not a bad effort, is it, really?
That is absolutely remarkable.
It turns out that our Centurion has the longest service record of any tank in the Bronx. With such a long history, I was hopeful I could track down someone who'd served in it. Maybe Simon could give me a lead.
We have here, so photograph which shows the disposition where all the tanks were. Let's have a look. 02 ZR8, 02 ZR6. Oh, look, yeah. 01 ZR15. So that would be 9 Troop, C Squadron, 6th Royal Tank Regiment. And you can see also who was in the crew. Gunner is Horsley, and it's either the driver or the loader would have been Turner. So, well, that's something you could pursue, see if you can try and find the crews.
Back at the grubby end of the operation, the squad have successfully started the tank's engine, but they're not going anywhere until they fix the tracks and wheels. The tank track is an ingenious invention. Each track is powered by a sprocket connected to the engine. The tank is in effect laying its own road, which the tank's wheels run on. The Centurion's tracks are made up from 112 separate links, each link connected to the next one with a steel pin. But 2 are missing.
Well, hopefully, I'm going to put these back in. Problem being is it is so tight that they may not fit. Why?
Well, the easy bit's the first ones.
Yeah. Right in. Just twist it, Joe. That's it.
The first link goes in with no problems.
Oh, Jesus. We got about that much movement. Time to get stuck by these 2 teeth.
Yeah.
But the second one is proving a bit more of a challenge.
No, ain't gonna work this way. Right, new plan. We haven't got enough clearance here, Joe.
Right.
I think we're gonna have. Ready?
Yeah.
We put this one on first.
Yeah.
Because then it gives.
The last link has to be fixed at both ends. There's only one way the complex shapes will interlock to complete the track.
It's a bit like a Rubik's Cube, isn't it?
Yeah. You can. Right, okay.
Whichever way they try, it just won't fit.
This is getting in between these 2.
Oh, sugar.
Finally, Axel applies a bit of welly. He manages to get just enough clearance to let the last link slot into place.
Got it.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
yeah,
you.
You're the man. Oh, Wetzel.
The last pin is driven in.
That's it.
To Jerry.
Yeah, I'm fine. Go on. Go, 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 go. Little. Yes, well done, man.
That's it. Job done. Excellent. Now we have traction, we can move.
With the hard work over, I felt it was safe to come back for a quick debrief.
Hello. How are you getting on here?
Wicked. Hard.
Been sweating it out.
I'm telling you.
You're going to have a look at this.
There is our tank.
No,
Look at
that's
that.
ours.
Check that
Is that from
out. Can you
Suez?
see that, Nick? Yeah, yeah. The reg number. There.
How many
01
Joes?
ZR15. Can you see that, Nick?
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's the chaps on top.
Yeah. That's with the original, like, you know, the long
When it was
tank
first
fighting
made.
gun, yeah. So then we've got that, but also this is unbelievable. This is like a daily parade state. I don't know what that stands for, but it's the Army. C Squadron, 6th Royal Tank Regiment, who were in Suez. And if you look here, I think we'll find, chaps, that is our tank. There it is. I don't know what that 9 means. Troop 9.
Got names there, haven't we? So that's Turner.
Horsley. So we've got something to work on.
My research was taking me closer to finding a member of the tank's crew. But after 5 days, the squad was still miles away from finishing the tank. The salvage squad have just 8 days left on their restoration of a 50-year-old Centurion tank. I've unearthed a list of crew members who served on the tank during the Suez crisis and plan to track them down. Meanwhile, the squad face a gruelling 4-day campaign to remove all the rust and repaint the tank in desert colours.
I've got another bit for you. Here, Axel.
Oh,
I've got another bit for you.
Yeah, but
How are you getting on? I know, it's a killer, isn't it?
I mean, isn't there no quicker way of doing this?
It does take a little while, doesn't it?
The main weapon the squad have in their battle with the rust is a nail gun. The steel rods or nails knock off any loose paint or rust. It's a noisy and mind-numbing task. Nick takes pity on the squad and gives them a hand. He also confesses his obsession with all things military.
Is there a medical term for your condition? Tankulicus or something?
I'm not the only one, mate. There's loads of tanky people out there. Well, I used to look at them as anoraks, right? And I thought, well, if I get myself a military vehicle, I won't dress in army gear. But really, it's cheap. You get a pair of trousers for 50p, don't you?
That's your excuse.
I mean, Einstein used to have 6 brown suits, and that way he didn't have to waste time deciding what he was going to wear in the morning. I'd buy 30 pairs of green trousers, 50 T-shirts, even got pants. Pants are 10p. My wife loves them. I'm not showing you my pants.
No, please, no, don't show me your pants. I'm sure they're lovely,
They're
khaki.
a mysterious khaki colour in case you get scared in battle. They think of everything, the MOD.
While Jerry was getting to grips with Nick's pants, I was still on the trail of the Suez tank crew.
I've contacted the Veterans Association and they've put me in touch with Hugh Leach, who was in C Squadron at the time of Suez, and I'm hoping he can tell us a little bit more about our tank. Hugh, I've got a photograph here of a Centurion, which we believe is in Suez. This is actually our Centurion that we've got. We can just about make out the number there. And if you can look at that, 01ZR15.
Right.
This is, we believe this is your squadron in Suez.
I recognise the commander instantly. That's Sergeant Lumsden. But my guess is it's taken a good week or more after the landing, because I say Egyptians wouldn't be walking around.
It looks a lot more relaxed then.
Yeah, it looks much more relaxed. I have an album, and that tank of yours actually, I think, has a brief mention. If I can find it. Here we are. Half an hour later, at 07:15 hours, the little column was on the move, led by 9 Troop, with Sergeant Lumsden commanding the leading tank. Your tank
was leading
actually led, of course, with the Marines.
Yes.
With what you command, actually led the invasion.
This was the chaotic state of affairs in Port Said Harbour when Allied forces entered on the sea.
Hugh's tank squadron led the ill-fated invasion of Port Said at the mouth of the Suez Canal.
Tanks had been ashore for some hours and were engaged in dealing with pockets of resistance.
By the end of the first day, British and French forces were in control of the town. However, just before midnight, the UN ordered a ceasefire. Overall, 22 British soldiers and over 900 Egyptians were killed in the fighting. The UN decided the action was unacceptable and the troops would have to withdraw. A military success ended in a political fiasco.
I mean, this is actually a map, you know, we drew up before we landed, of course.
Right.
It was 07:15 hours, wasn't it? When a great moment of glory of your technique. My guess is it was about there, and then it would have led the advance probably along Muhammad Ali, Sharia Muhammad Ali, until they got to the gasworks, which was there, which I think they reached about midday.
I mean, was the fighting quite heavy? Because that's about 4 to 5 hours.
Yes, it was.
It was, yeah.
You had to go very slowly because there was all the sniping
from both sides of the.
But from both sides, and of course from upper story windows. And street clearing is a very slow process.
Was it mostly small arms?
Mostly small arms, and I think the odd grenade.